And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all for tapping in with us once again. The Doing All Right. We are doing all right. Nothing better than being with y'all on this Wednesday night here. We're gonna talk some draft stuff a little bit later. But let's get the homework out the way, Bryan Broaddus. We're gonna get this serious stuff here. Actually, let me slow it down. Man, Bryan Broaddus, boy, you tapped me on the shoulder, man. You virtually put your arm around me and you tapped me on the shoulder. You said, well, Voch, I know that you're tank guy and I know you want to lose all the rest of these games, Voch. You're probably going to win this Giants and Panthers game, Voch. But you got a bunch of games you can lose that's coming right up.
Yeah.
Bryan, is that still generally how you feel? And I want to ask you this because I was on Bleach Report today. I was just working one of my many jobs over there.
Welcome to the club.
Bryan told me as radio guy, I got to work 8 jobs. You know what I'm saying? So
got to work 8 jobs, bro. Got to work 8 jobs.
Bleacher's one of them. And my castmates seem to have a lot of hype surrounding our beloved Dallas Cowboys, man. And I was like, hey, we just played a good day of defense there. Like, hey, relax.
Sure.
Bryan, do you think, and there is some improvement here. The Cowboys have gotten healthy. There is some continuity on defense. You figured out Rico Dowdle as run the ball guy, and that'll carry the rest of it. Bryan, with these games that we got coming up next with the Bucks, the Washington Football Wizards, and the Eagles, do you think that this formula that we've discovered at the end of the season, Cooper Rush or not, do you think that's enough to win those games?
No, I don't. I think you're going to have some other guys make some plays in this. I do like, now you did beat the Commanders in Landover, but it took special teams plays to do it.
Yeah.
I was watching this. It's funny because as I was working, the Saints and Commanders were on TV today. That was a hell of a football game from this past weekend. But you're going to have to score points likely against Philadelphia. You're going to play against teams that clearly their quarterback is better than yours. And if you do not have other playmakers, you've got Dowdle and you've got Lamb. Occasionally you will have Ferguson. We talked about it against Cincinnati. Are you going to score enough points? Defense did a hell of a job. Defense won you that game. You just weren't good enough on offense that day. Kind of feel like the same thing can happen. Feel like against this Tampa bunch that you're very capable of playing very well. You're capable of, of not giving Bucky Irvin and White, the running backs, any room and, holding them in check. You're capable of, holding Mike Evans in check. Yeah. Capable. I say that, capable. With Baker Mayfield, could you put enough pressure on him? Sure. But you could, can you do enough offensively against Tampa? Yeah. That's what's going to be the question in the next 3 games.
Sure.
I don't believe they can do it against Philadelphia. The Commanders, we'll see what happens. But you might be in a situation where if you lose this game against Tampa, then lose to Philadelphia, then now you're in a situation where you've got, Black Monday is the next day and the season's over. And I don't want to be a guy that's going to have to rehab an injury all off season. Yeah. How are you going to play? Yeah. The writing could be really on the wall for Mike McCarthy at that point in time too. They've played, and this is again my theory, they played hard for Mike McCarthy because they're all young players and a lot of these guys are trying to start their NFL careers. Sure. They're trying to get their NFL careers going. Yeah. So they have no choice of playing hard. If this was a team of veteran guys, this thing, they might have quit a long time ago. But I just kind of feel like that offensively, you have 2 really good players. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to carry in these games that you're going to need.
On that last part of veteran guys kind of tapping out on Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
Do you think Tank Lawrence would have been back sooner? Like if it was different circumstances here? Like if he
I was told today, because I asked about Tank, and I was told today that it came down to it just they couldn't get him healthy enough. And the situation with Tank is that he's going into a free agent year. He's got a voided contract and stuff. So he's going to be a free agent after this season. And I think they made a business decision there. I think they made a business decision. I think Tank said, listen, it's not feeling great. We've worked hard. I can't get back. It doesn't feel right. They don't want to risk it. He doesn't want to risk it. This is just me, have an opinion, guy with a camera, guy with a microphone. Please don't act like that this is my opinion. I do know for a fact that they had a discussion about this, that, is it worth trying for the last 3 games? And the determination with Tank and the medical staff was it wasn't. It wasn't to where it needed to be. And plus with him potentially going into a free agent, season, or where he's, he could very well sign with the Cowboys again, or he can leave and go play somewhere else. So the decision was made. I don't think he tapped out. I do believe that he has legitimate concern about his foot. Yeah. And how well is that foot really? How well is it? Yeah, I think they've worked really hard on it. I just don't think it's where it needs to be. That's why they made the decision that they did, I believe.
Well, to get back on track, Bryan Broaddus, I ain't mean to just derail us like
that.
Do
you feel like what's your thought about that?
I think we have a lot of, and we just talking about veteran guys right now. I think we've had a lot of veteran guys that have been a part of some winning programs.
Right.
And this may not feel like one of them,
Yeah.
So
is it worth it to me to soldier on for 3 weeks when maybe I can get hurt again and I have to do this all over?
And this is Voch Lombardi's opinion with this, Bryan Broaddus. Not that I'm big enough to where you will see a tweet that says per Voch Lombardi or anything like that.
Yeah.
I think the whole Micah Parsons loudly supporting Mike McCarthy thing, I think that's just charades. I think it's all charades. I think that's Micah Parsons hearing the noise about his leadership or his lack of it. And I think that's Micah going, you know what would be a really good leader move right now to support the head coach when he's definitely on this hot seat. Maybe that was Dak doing the same thing. Like what else is Dak going to say? Oh, I'm sick of Mike McCarthy. I think that's just guys trying to be leaders. I think they see the way that this is going. Yeah. I think that they still have remnants of that Green Bay game and they didn't improve from that. I think they look at the head coach for answers. I think the head coach looked right back at their ass for him, Bryan Broaddus. And I think that has a lot of veterans. I think you said something very poignant, Bryan Broaddus. I want to give you credit for that. Marshawn Nealon don't know nothing, but this is my first year in the league. Louis Fowl don't know nothing.
Brock Hoffman
playing for a job. He's playing for his livelihood.
Brock Hoffman makes $925,000 a year.
Yeah.
I mean, there's guys. How about Carl Lawson?
Sure.
How about Carl Lawson? He's a veteran guy, but he's on a 1-year deal. You could talk. There's guys that are playing for things here.
Sure.
Maybe they're not playing for Mike McCarthy. They're playing for themselves. They're playing for their livelihood, their existence.
Sure.
That's what they're playing for. TJ Bass playing for his existence. Him, Hoffman. What if all of a sudden one of those guys becomes the starter at right guard? All of a sudden that $925,000 turns into, an $8 to $10 million job. There's a guy, Rico Dowdle, playing for something.
Yeah.
Playing because he's never had a chance before. That's what these guys are playing for right now. Chuma Edoga.
Sure.
Chuma Edoga playing for a better deal somewhere else. We could sit there. Mike McCarthy, this is what I think about with Dak, and this is just my opinion again, folks. Sure. Please don't clip this and, Broaddus, I'm just giving you my opinion on this. I love this platform I'm on, so I'm going to give you my opinion. I think Dak did this. I think Dak and Micah Parsons know that Mike McCarthy's fate's probably sealed. They probably know that. And so what happens is this time of year, we kind of like we're getting in the mode like, okay, I don't want to be the guy with the blood on my hands.
Yes.
on why Mike McCarthy doesn't have a job anymore. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going to wash my hands of this deal. Sure, I'll support Mike. I'll throw it out there. But are you sincere about it? Are you genuine about it? Only those guys know. But I also have been in programs where guys say things to like, and I'm just going to tell you this, be real honest. That quarterback is a brilliant politician.
Sure. Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant. One of the absolute best that I've ever been around.
Yeah.
And I mean that because he has a way of making himself, feel very, this is who I am,
Sure.
This is who I,
But he's not faking it though. But he's not faking it. But he's not faking it. He's a real. He's a politician though. He's gonna say what's in the best interest of the party. I really think he's leadership guy, Bryan Broaddus.
Yeah.
And he really he's gonna support and play hard for anybody in that chair. But deep down inside, there's some Illuminati shit going on. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I totally respect him as a player. But man, this guy knows how to play the game, though, too.
Dak is going to say, man, you know what? Jalen Tolbert, boy, I love to have him here. Fantastic guy. If you pull him in a dark-ass alley with some truth juice, he's ready for Tolbert to get the hell up out of here, Bryan Broaddus. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I think Dak is, and I admire that about him, and I appreciate, but I think you also don't want to be the guy that in the locker room stands up and goes, well, it is what it is, and we're not good enough. And if whatever happens, that's what everybody wants to say, but I just, in my opinion, not talking to anybody in the organization about this, that Dak Prescott is brilliant. And I admire him for his ability to be very diplomatic about the way things are. But I guarantee you pull Dak Prescott aside and have a crawfish boil with him, he's going to tell you how effed up things are. What he said on that sidelines in Atlanta,
that's what he feels.
That's what he feels. That's exactly what he feels.
I think there's 5 guys that matter, Bryan. I wish I had 5 vials or thimbles of truth serum, and I'd pass them out to him. That's 4, 73. He ain't going nowhere.
Nope.
7, number 11, and 88 to tell us how he feel.
Absolutely.
CeeDee Lamb would tell us how he feel. Those 5 guys are the 5 that I feel like they're going to be here regardless. They ain't fighting for jobs.
Yeah.
They here.
Yeah.
I would love to know what they think.
See, it's the real guy. I wonder, maybe the real guy comes out and says what he's thinking. But when this is all said and done, if Mike McCarthy is gone, in fact, is gone, then you're going to maybe hear Dak Prescott's next line.
Oh, it's much better than the last season. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, how we do things now.
No, he's going to go. He's going to say, we all let Mike down. We let Mike down. That's a really good way of, we let Mike down. I love Jory Epstein. I love her. Jory Epstein. I love her as a reporter. Dak knows how to get his message out through her. He absolutely knows how to get his message out through her. And she's willing to say it. She's willing to say, because she is a supporter of Dak. Dak likes her. She likes Dak. And he knows that he can get her to ask him a question, and he can get the message out the way he wants to get out. I think Dak Prescott's brilliant. I really do. Sure. I think the way he understands, he's a guy you never have to say Dak doesn't understand the room. You never, because he's always going to come off as that guy that does a really good job of not putting himself in harm's way.
Sure.
So I admire him for that. And I think you're right about this. If you gave those guys truth serum, they would probably think, listen, we have success in some of these games, and other games we get our ass kicked, and the playoffs we haven't been very good, and we probably need to do something different here. Mike McCarthy, to his credit, there's no fluke by them winning short week games. I think Mike McCarthy understands that aspect. I think Mike McCarthy understands how to get his team, healthy enough to play a game in 5 days, 3 days, whatever days. Hey, I think he understands that.
Yeah.
But the other stuff, the play calling stuff and all that, if you're not willing to evolve, if you're not willing to be that guy, you're going to get left behind. I kind of think that's where we're at right now.
Man, Bryan Broaddus, boy, that was
I don't know, man. Like I said, to me, I don't know. There's a side of me that if Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones continue to talk as glowingly as they have about Mike McCarthy, extend him. Go ahead and extend him. Extend him this week. Extend him next week. Sure. Come out and tell us on 105.3 The Fan. And maybe I need to ask Stephen Jones on Friday. I go, if you had any extension, have you talk about extensions for Mike McCarthy? Let's see what he says to that. I'm going to guarantee you his answer is probably no. We haven't. But you talk glowingly about him. I kind of figured that maybe, boy, the way you and your father are talking about this, that we're working on something here.
Well, Bryan, we have a deal for 2 more games. We're going to play those out, and we'll see.
Bingo. We're concerned right now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah. That's the answer I'm going to get from Stephen Jones on Friday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But see, if everything about it is, everything is very, 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 very positive. But if they bring Mike McCarthy back, I would use the caveat of you are not calling the plays. We're going to get a coordinator in here, or we're going to figure this out. And if he says, no, I insist on calling them the plays, I've told you this before. I then move on and now start the search. I'll let his contract run out like it's going to. And then I go to the next. I do something other than a dinner with Johnny Walker Blue one night. I'm doing multiple. I'm going to figure this thing out. I'm going to talk about the next head coach. I'm going to talk about the direction. I'm going to talk about the staff. I'm going to do an extensive, thorough job. Will they do that? I don't know. I would, though. It should be that important, because you don't want to keep, going through these guys. With that 10 years with Jason Garrett, 5 years with this guy, you need to get this thing right. You need to find somebody in here that is going to make Dak Prescott better, CeeDee Lamb better, Maris Leofau better, Micah Parsons potentially better. You're going to need that guy. You do not have a difference maker right now. You have a really good manager of the team. You don't have a difference maker as a head coach. I think that's the really good teams have that guy as their leader. I need to find that guy. I need to find the next Andy Reid. I was with Green Bay with Andy Reid. They're out there. They're guys like that are working on staffs, but you got to be willing to be able to go and find that guy and not just interview a couple of guys and call it a day. I wouldn't do that.
Man, Bryan Broaddus, Mike McCarthy has a chance to save his job here. He
sure does.
He has 3 of
them.
Go
win these games. Go win these games. Yeah. Go win these games.
It's going to start this week with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Bryan Broaddus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think, this particular matchup that we're talking about today, I think that's where the bread and butter is going to be.
Sure.
Baker Mayfield is not the scrub that he once was.
No.
The running back tandem that they have over there is pretty solid.
Very solid.
Mike Evans is healthy.
He is.
And they got some dudes on the offensive line that I think are impressive, Bryan Broaddus.
They are.
And you're going to have that crew versus our defense, which is our highlight, Bryan Broaddus. So
that's our highlight right now. Yep. That's the thing that's going to keep you in this game.
Sure.
Is that defense. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, how do you attack this Tampa Bay Buccaneer offense, Bryan?
Ball's going to be thrown short. Okay. This ball is not going to go down the field. If it goes down the field, it's going to be to Mike Evans. Mm-hmm. But generally, this ball is going to be thrown short, and they're going to rely on their ability to play run after catch, is what they're going to do. Baker Mayfield is going to get rid of the ball quickly.
Yeah.
He's going to be accurate, right around a 71% passer with doing that. He's going to throw the ball in the flat. He's going to throw the ball to his backs. He's going to try and hit his tight end occasionally. Otten is a good player.
Yep.
They run the ball particularly well with the backs with Bucky Irving. He hasn't have a whole lot of carries. I think he's got 150 something carries, averaging about 5.6 yards a carry. That puts him in the classification of the backs you've played this year. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, the guy at Detroit, kind of puts you in that class with those guys. When you talk about yards per carry at 5.6, this guy's a tough out because he's shorter, he's compact, he's powerful, he makes people miss. If you don't tackle particularly well, he will embarrass you, and he catches the ball well out of the backfield. The problems that they have are when they ask those guys to blitz pickup. Him and White will have some problems with that.
Sure.
So the Buccaneers are a team that when you watch the sacks that they've given up, secondary pressure, linebacker pressure has been an issue. When you watch the Denver Bronco game, the way that they were able to play their defensive linemen at a little bit of some width to the, when you play an outside shoulder, maybe a little bit wider than that.
Yeah. If
you can get these offensive linemen to lean or have to chase, they play over the tops of their feet. So there you go. You got to find a way to kind of get these guys off balance. Don't let them set with their feet. Don't let them get in their pass sets. And then, because they can do a pretty darn good job of that with you.
Sure.
And so the biggest problems they've had over the year has been when they've had to replace one of the linemen. And Justin School was the guy who was replacing. He's number 77. He's their swing guy. He was their version of Chaz Green.
Yeah.
He's 7.5 sacks already this year.
Yeah.
People have tore him up, but they've been reasonably healthy now. Yes, I think they're the 8th most snaps played together for a unit, and they've done a pretty good job with that, with those guys. But I think it's going to be about keeping them off balance with your rush. You're going to have to be able to bring secondary pressure. We saw it with Lewis. We've seen it with Wilson. I think we're going to have more of that. Voch, I might go into this game real quick. Sure. If I could real quick. I might go into this game not starting AO.
Okay.
But starting Izzy McQuamu and going with Izzy, Lewis, and Bland. I'm probably not going to travel, but I need length and I need some toughness on the outside.
Sure.
And so I don't know if Mike will do it, but then maybe I mix up my coverage a little bit. Izzy on the outside, then maybe Izzy in slot, Lewis on the outside, kind of mix that up a little bit and see if I can handle Evans and McMillan, the rookie, and see if I can handle those guys. But I know the ball is going to be thrown short and underneath. I know it's probably going to go to the flat a lot of the times, and Baker Mayfield is going to get rid of it quickly. But when I get the chance to blitz him on third down, come with the pressure with likely some type of secondary or linebacker blitz. That's how I attack these guys. Running game is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one with the running game, the way it is.
Bryan, so they got 4 running weapons that can get you. Right, bro.
They do.
They got so they got White. He catches passes out of the backfield mostly, but he's a runner. Bucky Irvin, we watched him rookie. He can fly bills up ahead of steam and kind of run you over.
4th round pick. Really nice job. Good pick.
Did you get a chance to see this kid Sean Tucker, man? Watching film overtime.
Yeah.
I say, damn, they got another one. But then Bryan Broaddus, Baker Mayfield to go run around and get some yards on you.
Can run. Yeah.
So they kind of got a 4-head rushing attack. They won't use all the running backs. They'll probably just use 2 of them, White and Irvin. But when Baker Mayfield starts to run it around on you, and he can extend drives that you thought you had in your back pocket, that's going to be a problem here. So I know that we've been doing well with, running quarterbacks as of late because, sometimes, Michael Parsons gets behind the guy and Mike is faster than they think. But
he'll track him.
But Baker's very selective and he's very sneaky with his. And
yes, sir.
He knows when to run based off your rush. He's not just running to get away or because he missed it.
Yes.
Because mostly the ball's coming out quick. So if you do get him to hold the football, depending on your rush, he'll go scamper for a little 20-yard rush and kick the shit out you for a first down.
Yeah, you need to. He'll try and spin, get out of the way. There were a couple of times with these sacks, and I was watching the sacks where he was trying to spin and he gets tripped up. He's a smaller guy height wise, but he can be hard to bring down because he's got some kind of a little bit of lower body balance and some power in his body. So he kind of bounces off dudes. But you kind of got to get him, you kind of get him running and then you can maybe capture him that way. But the ball's going to get out quick. And they've, the last 3 weeks, Mike Evans has done a really nice job. I think it's over 20, 25, 26 catches, over 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yep. They got him back in the mix. They got him back in the mix. So,
and Brian, just a quick thought on Mike Evans. Evans has this record streak of having
1,000 yards,
1,000 receiving yards, right? But he got hurt, right? So if I'm the Cowboys and he got 3 games to go, if I had to bet, they're probably having a conversation internally of trying to get Mike Evans to 1,000 yards. I'd be looking out for damn Mike Evans in this game, Brian. Look, you got to look out for him anyway, but I really think he's trying to get that 1,000-yard mark, and I would definitely be double looking for him.
Yeah, I think that's why I was kind of thinking about Izzy playing out there, and then Lewis and Bland, because I don't think Zimmer's going to travel Bland. I just don't do it. After watching the Carolina where they had, when you travel a guy, that changes, especially if Evans comes in motion, and like 68% of the time he's going to play on the outside. The other times he's going to play in the slot. To me personally, if I'm the Buccaneers and I'm watching tape and I'm Liam Cohen, the OC, I am not putting Mike Evans to the side of Bland. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to try and put him away. And if it means if Dallas starts AO and, we'll see how it plays. Yeah. But I think you're right. I think, it's going to be, are you going to be physical enough with Evans out there to be able to match up? And Dallas has done a good job of stopping some runs. Dallas, some RB1s that kind of felt like that, hey, this is going to be a tough challenge. And this challenge on Sunday night is going to be big. But I worry about them throwing the ball to the backs. After what I saw with Cincinnati and that whole thing, I think Dallas needs to. I think this is where Maris Leofau and Kendricks and those guys need to be absolutely aware of what's going on.
Yeah, and actually, I think Leofau shines there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I agree. We'll see, Bryan Broaddus. But yeah, that's a fantastic Buccaneers offense there. Let's see where we at time wise, Brian. Right, we got a little. All right, so Brian, we got one draft pick I want to talk about, sir.
Okay.
Just one prospect I want to talk about. I was watching him early, and every year you guys kind of talk about the type of player that you really have a hard time with, that you don't really fool with too much.
Oh, you're about to tell me about it. I know who you're about to tell me about, but go ahead.
Brian, let me tell you something, man. I don't care how productive you are. I don't care how fast you are in college. I don't care. I'm not good with the I run fast and I run past people receiver. Yeah. I'm not good with that guy. For one, the players that come out and they're really good at that, they don't always end up working out.
Yeah.
The last example that we have of it is Worthy. But Worthy's, for one, he's faster than all those other guys. But then Worthy is playing with Kansas City Chiefs, Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, whatever.
Yeah.
But Henry Ruggs, Jalen Hyatt, like Brian, John Ross, there's a new run pass you got every single year. Yeah. And I struggle with them every year, and they get to the league, and they struggle too. So we got Isaiah Bond from Texas, Brian, and I'm having a hard time with him because he's a bona fide run pass you got. Besides that,
Right.
I don't see him doing much special that nobody else can do, but maybe I got him wrong. Tell me about Isaiah Bond, Brian.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do real quick.
Yes,
I'm going to do something here. I'm going back. I'm going to go back and I'm going to read you. Let's see if I can find the notes of this guy.
Why are you looking for that? We have Isaiah Bond from Texas, but last year he was at Alabama. This year at Texas, they let him line up outside a little bit more, but it's damn near at Bama. He was like a dedicated slot guy, which was interesting. But go ahead, though, bro. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to read you. I'm going to see if I can find this player real quick, and I'm going to read this player to you, and you tell me if it's the same guy as Isaiah Bond. You ready?
Okay.
I'm just going to read my notes to you. Slightly built player. Doesn't have much bulk or size to his frame. Does carry the ball with some physical toughness. We'll see him run through arm tackles in order to fight for extra yards. He's shown the ability to run away from defenders, can make something with the ball in his hands, could be a better route runner. There are snaps where he doesn't escape as well as he needs to. We'll see him get bumped off routes. Shows a willingness to carry his routes inside and across the field in order to make a reception. Can make plays on the move. Was used in screens and short passing game. Did a good job of finishing. Best trait is his ability to track the ball. Will make some outstanding adjusting catches. Plays with concentration. Nice balance and body control. Is able to work his feet in order to make the catch. Has some drops during the year, but still productive as a player. Slight build might turn scouts off. Okay, I just read you a player.
Yeah.
Does it sound like the guy that we're talking about? Does this sound like Bond a little bit, or am I completely off?
I think they all fit that guy. That's them.
You want to know who that is?
Henry Ruggs.
It's Marvin Mims from Oklahoma.
Yeah, he's another one. Yeah.
That's Marvin Mims, who was drafted by the Denver Broncos.
Yeah,
it's Marvin Mims, and I wonder, there's the guy that's the same height, weight, speed, big time player. Mm-hmm. That's kind of, I feel like, who the same guy is.
That's fine.
When I went, that was Marvin Mims. Sure. Okay, and that was the 2023 draft. Mm-hmm. Transfer from Alabama, legit burner with speed to stack corners and blow the top off of defense. Sudden acceleration, you can get top speed in a flash. Has some creativity as a route runner, can run routes from the outside or slot. Very good short area quickness with agility, change of direction to create space. Can really close the cushion of a defensive back with speed. Knows how to create space, puts pressure on the defensive defender right off the snap. Has averaged more than 18 yards of reception for the Horns. Can cross up defenders while creating separation. Has big time run after catch. Outstanding vision, able to read the field. He's not afraid to lay out for the ball, but size limits catch radius and blocking ability. Has good hands, but when having to make contested plays, he's had his share of troubles. Just isn't as physical as others in this draft. Dynamic, electric, put him in motion, let him go to work. Excellent player to use in rubs and picks due to his quickness and speed. Yeah. And this is why I said this guy reminds me of Marvin Mims from Oklahoma, who the Denver Broncos has now. Bond sounds like a little bit better player, but the same type of guy. 5'11", 180 pounds, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think we saw some of the same things with when we watch Mims play. Same thing. Where do you take that guy?
Sure.
Where do you take that guy?
I have a hard time placing that dude because I feel like there are people that aren't as fast as you that'll be better vertical dudes because of the size, right?
Right.
We're talking about the kid from Stanford, Alec Ayamignor. Mm-hmm. I know he could play vertically, but he's like 6'2".
Can't run out of sight though, but man, he goes get the ball and he makes contested plays.
And we're just talking about other guys that are playing vertically. If I had to pick receivers, Bryan Broaddus, they're always going to be route runners. They're always going to be like the smart dudes that know how to navigate the zones. They know how to sit down on time. They sit down early.
McConkey.
Lad McConkey.
Lad McConkey. We talked about Lad McConkey. Sure. I think the guy who's out at San Francisco right now.
Sure.
That
Pearsall.
Pearsall.
Yeah.
That's
I favor the route runners and the dudes that could do the wide receiver stuff. I like speed just like everybody else. I think Tyreek Hill has led people astray with looking for a speed guy because Tyreek Hill is really a thicker dude, but he's faster than all those guys.
Right.
Isaiah Bond is going to have to show me some otherworldly speed in order for me to consider him in that kind of way. And I don't get I don't get Worthy type speed from like Worthy was stupid fast.
Stupid fast, yeah.
I see Isaiah Bond as like a Jalen Hyatt type dude. And I think Hyatt was a little taller. Hyatt was like, what, 6'1"?
Hyatt was taller. Hyatt, much taller than this kid.
So now, of all the run past you guys, you got a guy in Bond. I don't think he's as fast as some of the guys that have come out. He's not as big. He doesn't have the wingspan of some of these guys. He can catch. You are right. But I've seen him drop passes when they hit him.
Oh no!
Like once he's
absolutely.
hit, like once he's hit, that's when he drop him.
Yeah.
And I see.
By the way, Hyatt was 6'1", 176, just to make sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
So he's lighter. He's small. Yeah. He's small by 2, but give or take 2 inches.
5'11", 180, 6', 176.
And honestly, by the time we go to the combine, Bond might be 5'10" or something. You know how I get when you go to the combine. So Brian, I'm looking at these run past you guys, and I really have a hard time grading them. And I know Dane got them in the 40s or so, or something like that. PFF got him at like 11. That's damn high for me, Brian.
Yeah.
So I watched Isaiah Bond. I see what it is to like about him as a college football player. But I have a hard time trusting the run past you guy if they don't have solid route running, if they don't have good understanding of zone coverage and all that. And oh man, what game was I watching? It was he was at Bama versus like Michigan or something, right?
Yeah,
and
Rose Bowl,
sure. And like, all right, he's running past y'all, but he ain't getting open. You know what I'm saying? He'll boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Something else, too, I learned I hate about receivers, Brian. I don't like receivers that wave to their quarterback that they open and they not really open. You ain't open. He does that a lot. He wants the ball a bunch, and I like receivers that want the ball a bunch. But, dog, you wasn't open, man. Quit doing it. I didn't see him do things like if the quarterback is scrambling because, Milroe ran around a lot, come back to Milroe.
Yeah.
Isaiah Bond will stay back there and go, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like my receivers quarterback friendly, man. So I just had a lot of problems with Bond. I think he's a cool college player, man. But personally, I have a hard time with him, judging him as a prospect.
I think the ones that we've looked at, to me, if Dallas is picking at 13, 14, 15, somewhere right around there.
Sure.
I think you're going to get a receiver that you probably really, really like there.
Yeah.
And maybe that player might be the best player on your board. And I kind of feel like though that if you gave me one of those guys, and I'm not thinking I'm going to get McMillan from Arizona, but stranger things that happen. I didn't think I was going to get CeeDee Lamb either.
Sure.
But McMillan, Burden, our guy from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that I'm kind of looking at in that order, kind of looking at those guys is what I think. So maybe where you're picking, you'll not have to take a guy like Bond.
Sure.
I'm not against the player. I totally agree with you about that whole, the whole thing with
run fast, run past
you. Yeah. Run past you guy. Yeah. I totally agree with you about that.
Yeah.
Get the route runners, like I said, you've seen now in the league with the dudes that know how to get up the field, turn people around.
Sure.
They cause problems.
Yeah.
The speed guys kind of get knocked around a little bit, but you're right about Hill too. Hill's a thick guy, but Hill's also a 6th-round pick. A lot of that had to do with character stuff.
Yeah.
My guy John Dorsey, he didn't care about character stuff at Kansas City when he was picking him and Mahomes and guys like that.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of shying away from guys like that. Sure. I don't think that's the best use of getting a receiver right now myself.
If you were a scout, do you just drop them on your board or do you take them off completely because you just don't like that type of player?
Nah, you know what? I think you have to give these guys their due.
Sure.
put him on the board where you take him. You know, if you think he's the 42nd best player, put him in the second round. If you think he's the 70th whatever player, put him in the third round. You know, I just think you have to. I think they would be. It's funny, on my board they would all be stacked in there. You know, all those small dudes would be okay. Here are all the small dudes, and put them in order how you would like the small dudes. You know, the run by you dudes. You know, give me the route runners. You know, like I said, I didn't mention that Stanford kid. That Stanford kid. I don't know if I would take him at a. I don't know if I'd take him at 15 or so.
No.
But I'd take him in the damn second round in a heartbeat.
For sure. What round do you take Bond?
I think I would have him in the third myself.
Yeah, I guess somewhere in the threes. Yeah, somewhere in the threes. Sure.
I mean, I don't, like I said, I'm interested to see what other third round receivers I have. I can, if there's guys, if I feel like that I've seen some other receivers that fit that mode that you and I are talking about, where there might be 3 or 4 of the guys that we look at after this that are better players than him. And then all of a sudden he ends up at the bottom of the third or maybe even the fourth. Sure. Because like I say, there's some good traits about this kid, but I don't think he's like the other little fast guy. And I say little because he's 5'11", but I mean, he looks slight. He looks slight the way when you look at him. So I don't know, man. I think I can get some guys if I'm going to hunt some receivers. I think I've got some guys with some size that I kind of like better than him.
We will continue to watch our film, and we're going to.
You have him in the fourth? Did you put him in the fourth?
Late third, I guess, fourth round. And I think you make a.
I mean, I
point.
don't. Hey, you know what? I guarantee you, we get in a room. You and I get in a room with that guy. If we were on the board and we would probably get overvoted on that one.
I'm jumping on the table and shouting. I ain't got time for run past you guys. And look, and I think
no. I mean, get ready when we're on the draft show. That's going to be a discussion that's going to be a discussion where those run past you guys are. I totally agree with you, man.
Sure.
My old boss Ron Wolf said you better walk on water if you're like that.
Small.
If you're like that slight guy, you better walk on water. Yeah. And I don't know if this kid walks on water. Sure. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Hey man, fantastic conversation, Bryan Broaddus. Appreciate you.
Hey man, you need to look at a North Dakota State offensive tackle.
I got him, and he's played tackle and guard both sides, right?
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to look. You always got to look at your one bison for the year.
Yeah, there's always one.
Always got to look at one bison guy. Always got to look at one bison.
I seen of him, but his tape looked like it's on VHS, like it's not a high quality tape or whatever. So I watch him. I just saw it and got turned off by
those people. Those people are in the national championship. Those people from North Dakota.
They hold their camera like this.
So much, hey, wait, they're going to be in your neighborhood. Get ready. Get ready, man. When they get in that final, I don't know. Hell, they might have already got bounced. I think they're still going.
Yeah.
But you're going to see. You're going to think you were playing the Green Bay Packers this week. Those people walking around your neighborhood with all that green and gold on.
Yeah.
And they're here so much. I told one dude, I said, "You guys are here so much, you need to start paying taxes." You know.
Hey, just be nice when you see me now.
Just be nice. Yeah, be nice when you see me. Be nice.
Won't fool nobody.
Look at you weaponing up here.
No, it's just a multi-tool. I was fixing stuff.
Oh, okay.
Earlier,
Okay. Don't hurt yourself there. Don't hurt yourself there. Yeah, don't hurt yourself, Bob Vila.
Oh, please. Please, Sham. How old are you, Bob Vila?
Yeah. Okay, Bob Vila.
Oh man. Hey, man.
At least you knew who Bob Vila was.
I was born in 92, so I caught the last little bit of it for sure.
Yeah, 92. My God, what was I
30
doing? I was 27 years old, starting my career here over my shoulder.
Damn.
I was doing that. Yeah.
Look at that guy. me and Brian are gonna keep watching film, and we're gonna keep bringing y'all some fantasticness. So tomorrow we got Buccaneers defense. So y'all be sure to tune into that, and of course we're gonna have our draft Friday. So y'all be sure to keep your eyes open, man. We appreciate y'all for hitting the button. Go in the comment sections and ask us questions. We'll be there. Brian watches at 5 a.m. I watch around like 9 or 10 or something. When I'm at the gym and my life is going on. All right, y'all hold it down. We'll catch y'all next time. Love you to pieces. Crown.